everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to create this video to be about the spirit of Thanksgiving and gratefulness. It's been on me since yesterday to just share gratitude and how powerful that is. If someone would have said 20 years ago that my life would be where it's at right now, I would have never believed them. At that time in my life, I started experiencing unforeseen, tragic circumstances in my life that caused me to question a lot of things at a very young age as a child. Didn't know how I was going to make it through, wasn't prepared. And from then on, from teens to, 20s and stuff like that, and just living and moving on in my life, there has been a lot of experiences that I've gone through that, sometimes we have those scars that are, a reminder, right? To help keep us humble, to keep us just a reminder. And the fact that I can sit up here and say I am so thankful to wake up to another day of life, that in of itself, I never could see from 20 years ago how people said those things and how they meant them. Um, and I am just so thankful that I can even be on a platform just to share this, just to be a little bit transparent, to give hope unto whoever that this message it can touch and will touch others. And I am genuinely so grateful for the gift of life. I'm so grateful that God's grace and mercy has kept me alive for this very day. 3 years ago, turning 40 was a complete life changer for me. Um, I reached a point where all I could think about is, how do I want people to remember me when it's my time to go? And at that time in my life, I wasn't proud of what I know people knew me to be. I wasn't a horrible person. It's not like, it's not one of those things, but it was not up to the desire of what I know I could be in my own personal growth. And from then on, I've been on this journey of my personal growth and relationship with God. And I 100% lean on God in my life. And the very thing that I do say at times to others is that the one thing I know for sure I am an expert at and that I am confident in is that I can make the worst decisions ever and ruin my life or put myself in horrible situations. It's natural. It's just natural. But by the grace of God and relying upon Him to order my steps and direct my path is a completely different thing. And I'm at this place in my life and personal growth. I am very protective of my peace because having this amount of peace in my life by way of faith and by way of intentionally working on it every single day that I wake up. Some days are not good as others. And I'm not here saying that I'm perfect because I'm definitely not. It is so vital that I do not allow any other influences that could possibly contribute to, getting off path, because I am so serious about the place I'm at in my life personally. And to finally be here and to pray for something for over 20 years of my life, and thinking at the very end that I started giving up the belief that that prayer would be answered. So these tears are just tears of gratitude and thankfulness, and that time is not a factor. What's to be will be. And if you are given an inspiring word, or the Spirit reveals something to you that will happen, we have to keep our faith alive. That's the only thing that I have. I'm going to speak for myself. That's the only thing that I have. The only thing I have is my faith in God, that He will see me through. And that does not mean you're not going to go through hardships and trying times. But at the end of the day, it's a promises that have been made that allows me to know I can lean on Him. I don't have to fight this fight alone. And as long as I keep trusting and believing and putting in that work diligently, um, it's going to be okay. One of the things my daughter and I were just talking about yesterday, the scripture about faith without works is dead. And I'll give an example about this scripture and how I reached a point of growth with regards to some of my character flaws. One of my biggest character flaws for myself has always been patience, having patience. Um, Grew up in an environment that patience was not a big thing. And um, so, of course, you adapt to your environment. And as much as you will say as an individual, I won't ever do that to my kids and I won't ever treat my kids that way, you find yourself being the very thing that you don't want to be because it's become a part of your environment. And I've had to put in the work to not be that way naturally anymore. But going back on topic about the scripture, faith without works is dead, I want to say it was like sometime last summer. I would notice in my prayer life at the end of the day or when I would get off work, I was constantly apologizing for, losing patience and not having patience with the people, my clients that I'm working with, or just on the road, or whoever it would be. And after a while, I felt horrible because I'm like, I keep apologizing, but I'm not change. Nothing is changing in that area. Like this isn't right. I just felt like, I don't know. I didn't feel good about it because I'm like, oh, if I'm apologizing and I'm being genuine, there's got to be some change that takes place. And I realized it was like the concept that came to me that was revealed. It's as if I was going in prayer and asking for the strength for patience, as if I was going to a magic genie bottle, let me get this wish and that's it. And that's when it hit me, and the scripture was given to me about the understanding of faith without works is dead. So if I'm going to believe that God is going to bless me with patience, the part I was missing was the working part. And it was then when I had that um, bit of wisdom and insight that God gave to me that I started putting in the work for it. And it is something I still work on. And I can see the growth, though. I can see the progress. And the times when I have messed up and when I do mess up, or, I may kind of respond to someone kind of harshly, the part that I enjoy is that when I go back and I genuinely apologize and ask for forgiveness to that person, in return, 98% of the time, it's caused that person to also apologize to me for the way that they responded, or apologize for the way that they originally came at me, that I then responded with that same energy. I know you'll hear people say, well, the energy you give is the energy you're going to get back. I understand the concept behind that. Speaking for myself, that's not helping me to obtain the desire that I have to have with patience and to be kind and to not take everything personal and be ready just to have a complete 0 to 100 in emotions. I realized I was being sort of selfish because I had that attitude of like, how dare you talk to me like that? How dare you say that to me? But and then I realized, I was like, who do I think I am? Like, people, we all are going through things in life. There's not one person that's not experiencing something. So sometimes when we experience someone, it could be someone on the road and they just flip you off, even though you've apologized. Like, I've had times I may have like merged into a lane and I'm like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And I try to do all that and apologize and they'll just flip me off and go. Like, before it would upset me, but now I'm like, well, they're upset. I mean, I gave them a reason to be upset. Or I now have the understanding that sometimes when people are snippy, or maybe they're just not wanting to talk, or maybe they really just didn't hear you, take self out of it and maybe say a prayer for that person. Because I know all too well when I'm having a bad day or it's not a good day, right? I'm not in the best of mood. I'm not at 100%. And we are all just trying to get through another day in such a world that we live in, that you can watch the news for 5 minutes and see it's like a sinking ship in essence. But I wanted to share this video to talk about the strength of gratitude is so powerful. I even wrote it down. Like, you can find articles online how it talks about research shows gratitude can increase self-esteem and day-to-day satisfaction while decreasing anxiety and depressive symptoms. So the thing that I've been focusing on lately is, even when I'm stressed at work, even when there's personal things going on, not complaining. And I mean not complaining to the point where not only not speaking it, but not thinking it, and quickly shifting to thankfulness and start talking about the things that I am grateful for and being genuine with that. The minute I do that, I feel the strength within me. I can feel joy and happiness. I can make so much more progress. I'm not held back anymore. And then you're sharing that spirit of gratitude unto others. That is just as powerful. And I think it's important. I just want to maybe challenge you guys for the next 30 days, write down 3 things at minimum. At minimum, we should have an endless list of gratitude and the things we're thankful for. But just to make it simple, every day writing down 3 things that you are grateful for. Allow it to really manifest in your way of thinking or in your moment of solitude. Think about those things that you're grateful for. Keep your mind shifted on, even in the circumstances that are out of your control that you're experiencing in the very moment, finding gratitude in that, because I guarantee you, you can always acknowledge, well, it could have been worse. Or if you're in the midst of it, it could be worse. And you can give an example of that. And when you're able to do that, you will start noticing that you're no longer always just looking at circumstances in a manner that is like, oh my God, you dread it, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I do this so easily all the time. But the thing that does help me get through circumstances that are out of my control, that are affecting me, and I'm not the happiest about, I always have to pull out the silver lining and I focus on that. When I focus on that silver lining, when I go into a spirit of gratitude and thankfulness, I find myself reaching a point quickly on that I've accepted that what I am experiencing, it's a part of my life right now, and it's only going to be there for a season. But I've accepted it instead of constantly, it's like a toddler, you're fighting it. You're fighting your sleep. You're not wanting to go to sleep. You're fighting having to accept that circumstance that's in your life right now that you have no choice but to wake up and go to bed to. Because I owe it to share this, because of my daily gratitude that I have been given the spirit of peace and the ability to increase my faith only by the way that I keep pushing and working and doing my part as well every day. And stay encouraged, be encouraged, and just know, even in that midnight hour that may last you quite some time, there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There's a rainbow. There, everything is for a time and season. And that's why I enjoy looking back on the things that God has brought me out of, that brings tears of joy, because it shows the love that He has for us. And who am I for Him to love and just be so faithful to? And I owe it all back to Him. And I just want to share the same gratitude that I feel and the peace and the joy that I experience in my relationship. Um, I want to share those things to give hope unto anyone that is listening, and that this may encourage. Hang in there. Hang in there. This is a very real thing in life that we experience as humans. It's not easy. You We'll make it through. Sometimes you have to cry your way through. There's days that's all you can do is cry. There's days you don't even have words to even formulate with what you're experiencing. And even those moans and groans, He knows what it is. He can articulate. He knows the needs that we have when a lot of time we don't even know our own needs. So hang in there. And I'm praying for you. And I'm here just to, you guys are receiving of this message. And I'm just thankful that I can share my own testimony and life when it comes to my own gratitude that I experience, and that I'm just so thankful to be alive and be here today.